Hi guys, previous video showed you I picked this up in a charity shop. A to Z, World of Discovery, number 2059, create your own saltwater vehicle. Learn about alternative green energy. No batteries required, saltwater powered. According to this, originally priced at £12.99, they sold it at £5.99. I picked it up in a charity shop for £1, which suits me, because it does look like it's never been used. Still sealed in the plastic bag. And a set of instructions. My plan is to probably power it with something else, but I guess we'd better do the saltwater power first. Actually, it might pay me to get my tray, just so I don't lose the bits, so they don't fall off the table. Right, I'll go and get the tray. Got the tray. No screwdriver supplied. Got a few little screwdrivers there. So, step 2. Well, step 1, lay out all the pieces. Step 2, know the brine battery, magnesium and carbon. Well, that's the magnesium, and that's the carbon. So I know them. So how do we actually connect the wires? Let's see, pull the bit of plastic back and... Oh, as shown in the figure, stripping out about 1 centimetre of shell of the wire, connect both ends of the red and black wires with alligator clips. Gum cover should through wires first. That's really not very clear. I don't see that it says actually connect these wires to these wires. I think it's a poor picture. I think there's supposed to be a join there. I think. I'll strip off a little bit more. Over there. Now I can twist it. That should stay on there a bit better. Because I could solder that, but that's not really the point of the exercise. I'm supposed to be able to do this without a soldering iron. Okay, so we've connected them. Now I think we're supposed to connect these onto here. There's no guidance on doing that. I really, really want to solder that, you know. It would make it so much neater. I'm going to do that. I'll be back in a minute because that's not part of the build instructions. Maybe not entirely in the spirit of the build. I've soldered those wires together. I just hate it when you twist bits of wire together and they come apart when you're trying to work on them. Let's just see if this actually runs. Got a battery here. Oh yes, that's spinning okay. So that's positive. Take that back off there again before we get confused. So we've done that. Insert 50 single tooth, the smaller orange gear. The smaller. Oh yes, that one is a bit smaller. On the 10 centimetre shaft. So how do we know which one's 10? Well, that's definitely not 10, so it's got to be one of these bigger ones. So that was the smaller one. So that's a good tight fit on there. So this has got to go here. With no guidance on fitting the axle bits. Are we missing something? No. I think we've got rather limited instructions. So by deduction, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those small ones. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That picture really isn't good enough to show you how far back that's got to fit. It could go there, but it would be fouling on the plastic, so it's going to have to go there. Do we use the larger screws or the smaller screws? Just have a look, see whether, yeah, that screwdriver should do. Okay, There'll be a bit of a jump in the continuity here, because I really struggled to get the motor and that metal plate in position so we could actually align all the gears. What I had to do was put that bracket and that bracket in place, then put the motor bracket or clamp in place with the motor inside, take that gear off, and then physically push hard to bend this motor mount and move it closer to that gear until they meshed nicely. So just screwing it in place didn't automatically align it. We actually had to physically push hard on the motor mount. I think if we look from that angle, you can probably see it's pushed over on this side further than it is on that side. So I actually pushed it that way to get it to line up, but it does now line up. So if I put my battery on it for demonstration purposes, magnet on there, lift it up, and there we go. So gears are aligned and the wheels are turning. And that took me about 30 minutes just to get that little bit aligned. Also, I had to move the axles to the lower holes. I had them on the higher holes initially, but the gears just wouldn't meet together. So lower holes, and they line up. Fix the pudding cup with foam adhesive sticker. And then we got to fit this on top. These pictures really are pretty useless. All right, I'll do that. We'll come back. We now have the mixing bowl, or whatever they called it, with a bit of double-sided tape to hold it in place. We've also got this bit on top, which I don't know if it's intended to tip like that, but that is quite convenient, because then you can fill it with water and then cover it, stop things accidentally falling in there. I fed the wires through the holes. It doesn't tell you to do that, but I just thought that would make sure it keeps them away from the wheels. And then just for demonstration purposes, magnet on there, that on there, pop that in there. So we work on a battery, okay? The next thing will be to see if it'll actually run on salt water. And to do the salt water, we need that. And whatever I did with the two metal plates, it tells us to mix 20% to 99% of the salt solution is okay. Magnesium is consumables. In other words, the little magnesium plate will eventually disappear because it will get eaten up. After finishing, take the electrode slice out, clean and dry it for next time. So that's one thing I've got against these saltwater kits, that once the magnesium is used up and it does get eaten away, then that's it. You don't get a replacement. So that's the end of the demonstration. So I'll mix some salt water solution up. We'll put it in there and see if we can get it to work. All right, put the salt in some water, mixing it up. It certainly works. Plenty of power there. Oh, they're touching, that's why it's jerking. That's what I was saying, there's nothing there to stop them touching. Right, what I've done now is I've pulled the wires up through those holes, so that's holding the plates apart so they're not touching in the water. So, a complete success, even though the instructions were a bit difficult to follow. So we need to wash that off so we can store it for future experiments. By way of a little bonus, I just happen to have this solar panel off an old solar-powered power bank, which never did very well, but it's a nice little solar panel. It actually gives off about 6 volts, which is far more than we need, but I don't think it gives much current. And I've got my halogen light bulb, and off we go. Solar powered instead of saltwater powered. Just do that again. Halogen light bulb to give us plenty of power, and away we go. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment so I know how I'm doing. And somewhere up here there'll be some links to related playlists. Thanks again.